wrestling. Oh, I told you. I fell off the TikTok wagon tonight, y'all. I went on that thing and I started sending TikToks to people. And I told Alex and I told our guest tonight that I fell off the wagon. I might be a problem tonight.
That's like every night. Hey, everybody, we've got Powerbait Paul here. Before we get to him, though, happy Friday, Sunday, Tuesday. I don't know what day you guys listen to this. Whatever day you guys listen to us, happy whatever that day is. This is Bass and Bruce, your weekly distraction from high-quality podcasts. He's Paul. I'm Alex. If you want to help support the show, head over to patreon.com/bassandbrews. Go become a producer of the show. That'll give you access to Last Call with Alex and Paul, the Patreon exclusive once-a-month live show we do with all of you
Patreon
members.
An excuse. It's an excuse to waste fucking $5 on some bullshittery. Like, listen, if you're making money and like, you know what, I have $5 a month that I just really want to wipe my ass with, and not flush it down the. I want to wipe my ass with it, and then like roll it up and reuse it tomorrow.
Yeah,
come join our Patreon.
Well, listen, it's much appreciated. Paul already locked in. If you guys don't know, if you're a new listener, sorry. If you're an old listener, you guys know that Paul and I have never met. And April 11th, I'm going to North Carolina, and that's what we use the Patreon money for. We're going to record some live podcasts. We're going to get into some shenanigans. And Paul booked the campsites. Those are all locked up for the weekend, so pretty exciting stuff.
Yep. Thank you so much. We use the Patreon contributions that y'all have made to book the campsite. The campsite's costing $46. And because of our Patreon members, we're only having to pay $42.
Perfect. You're the worst. All right. We've got Powerbait Paul, the South Jersey. Stop. We're not doing this. We're not doing this the whole episode.
I texted you.
We're not doing it.
We're not. We're doing it now because I texted you. We had to start saying this. If there are any folks in the fishing or outdoors world, thank you, Alex. Oh, I got to do my introduction and then blah, 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 blah. If there are any anglers, outdoors people, anybody on the social medias that you want us to have on, who we haven't had on before, we need you to send them to us. Slip in the DMs on TikTok. Who knows how long non-RIP TikTok right now.
Yeah,
Instagram.
Yeah. Last episode we're giving it a eulogy. It's back, baby.
We buried TikTok, and that bitch was still breathing. So I'm sorry for that, TikTok. I hope that you were able to climb out of that hole, which you obviously were. But anyway, if you have anybody that you want us to have on the show, DM us on Instagram, TikTok, or email us at bassandbrewspodcast@gmail.com. Did I get it right this time?
bassandbrews@gmail.com.
All right.
I wasn't listening.
Don't do it through Facebook. I will not see it. Alex won't see it. We won't see it. But send us those recommendations, and you get points if you actually know them and can get us introduced.
Yeah, actually, if you guys can get us a guest, you get 5 schmeckles. If you get 100 schmeckles, you get 1 gold star. If you get 100 gold stars, you get to run a whole podcast on your own. So,
all right,
plug those guests.
Here's the deal. If anybody doesn't know what a schmeckle is, Alex comes April 11th.
Yeah.
A schmeckle is me grabbing Alex's ass twice. So if you can get to 100 schmeckles, I'm going to grab Alex's ass 50 times while we're camping April 11th. But we have Powerbait Paul here tonight. Royalty, first and foremost, because his name is Paul, and my name is Paul. And so we got Powerbait Paul, and I searched on the Google for anonyms of power, and I came up with impotence. So I'm impotence, Paul.
That tracks. That makes sense. Makes sense. One guy's known for a strong noodle, and Paul's known for a floppy noodle. So that's good.
Which one is which?
I don't know. We'll figure out by the end of the show, Paul.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, we really do have 2 short noodles and a long noodle on the podcast tonight.
But you're a fat noodle. Anyways, Paul, welcome to the show.
Wow.
What's up, guys?
I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. If you guys don't know Powerbait Paul, he's definitely a South Jersey, not just a South Jersey, but specifically a South Jersey legend. This guy catches hogs. He catches them from the shore most of the time. And I'm going to tell you what, that's not easy in the great state of New Jersey to catch hogs specifically from the shoreline because, one, we're not known for big fish. And then, two, most of our shorelines are covered with needles, strollers, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's great. I'm glad. I heard Big Paul up there told me that you just came out of the hospital because you took like 5 fentanyl needles. So I'm really happy that you recovered from that from your last fishing trip and you were able to make it to the show.
Oh, man. I mean, it's a slight exaggeration, but yeah. I mean, the thing about catching bass, big bass, specifically in New Jersey from the bank, you got to know where to go, what time of the year, you know what I mean? That's why I don't like to talk about my favorite lakes, you know what I mean, to the public. I'll tell my buddies and stuff because, but people, that I don't know, I don't need them coming up to location X and, getting lucky and pulling out a 6-pounder and, keeping it or something. And that's one less,
Hey, Paul,
hey, listen.
Alex still names his river that he fishes
River
X.
Yep.
And I thought for the longest time that was the name of the fucking river. And then come to find out, no, he just didn't want to share it. And the only reason that the conclusion that I came to was that he casted off so many lures that he didn't want people to go find all of his shit because he didn't lose them in the water. They're in people's backyards and in trees and
tree branches. Wow.
Right.
Hey,
people's yards. Hey, real quick, people in New Jersey are very stingy, and they need to be because we don't have a lot of lakes. We don't have a lot of bodies of water, especially ones that produce good sized bass. Right. And then exactly what Powerbait said here, motherfuckers will take them. River X, I remember fishing it. I didn't fish it for like a month. This is a couple years back. And I rolled back into fish and they're like, yeah, they caught some big ones. They threw it right in their cooler and they said they were bringing it to their home lake. Like they will fucking snipe out all the big bass and try to take that bitch back to their private pond. Because New Jersey is also known specifically for having bodies of water that have no public access, which absolutely drives me up the wall. That we have like public waters, but then everything's surrounded by $1 million houses, so you can't get access to it. So these assholes will come in, catch big bass on public water, and then roll to their little private lake, dump those big bass in, and hope that it like repopulates some big bass in there. But it's you got to be careful here. There's not a lot. You got to be, and it's tough because you do social media. You want to show off those big bass. You want to show off the beautiful landscape of Camden, New Jersey waterfront, right? Oh, I didn't mean to give out your spot. My bad.
Paul, hey, Paul. Real quick. Let me ask Paul this question to start off the podcast. I mean, we didn't start it off. We're about 10 minutes in, but I have this question. You've catch some giant fish here recently, bass, not just fish, but bass. How do you have your live scope set up that you use it from the bank? Because I know good and goddamn well, I fished off the bank for the majority of my life. I know good and goddamn well you ain't catching them fish without using live scope. You're out there scoping from the bank, and I need you to tell the Bass and Brews listeners how to set up their bank fishing live scope setup.
You see, I use a special kind of live scope, and it's a totally different brand. It's not Garmin. It's nothing like that. It's called Lux Scope. That's all I use. I use Lux Scope.
I thought you were going to tell me that you had Ike out there with live scope. Yeah, and he was scoping the fish and like, Paul, through here.
No,
Paul, through here.
I don't depend on anybody for me to get my big fish. That's all me. I don't bank off of somebody else. Oh no, my ego wouldn't let that happen. No way.
Sorry, Paul started talking about how he won't give up his spots, but if you guys head over to patreon.com/bassandbrews, just like we do with every guest, if you become a Patreon member during the week that his episode airs, he will send you 5 to 7 coordinates. Only one of them will be right. So have fun.
It's the Powerbait Paul Easter egg hunt in New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah. And the right one will be literally the spot that has the smallest fish. So I'm not losing much,
Well, shit. Anybody in New Jersey that goes fishing and actually catches something besides a dirty diaper, I mean, look, if you gave people spots and they just caught fish, you would be their hero.
Yeah. I mean, I have put some of my buddies on some pretty good fish. Like, for instance, my buddy Lewis, he last year he was having a tough year, catching big ones. He caught some good 3-pounders, but he couldn't really get those bigger fish. And then I told him what lake we need to hit, so we go out in my favorite pond that I've ever been to, the pond that's produced my 2 biggest bass of my life. We take his jumbo out in that, and it's November, so the water's cold. I'm like, you know what? It's either going to be jerk baits or jigs. And sure enough, he hooks into a 4.5-pounder, and I net it for him. And, just towards the end of the year, his first bass over 4 pounds. So that was pretty cool.
It sounds like y'all need to start another northeastern podcast called Jerk Bakes and Bigs.
It would be.
Bigs,
I don't know.
Jerk baits and bigs.
It would be.
I don't know. Bobby would have something to say about that. He's like, "Whoa, man, you're creeping on my titles there."
No, it could be jerking with jerks.
That's a good one.
Boom, that's a good one. Idea. Boom,
trademark. That's a good one.
Great podcast and even better OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly. You got to listen in this day and age. You've got to spread your social media wide, right? You've got to go horizontal.
Not that wide.
That's what she said.
Gosh dang! But I'm pissed.
Hey, hold on.
I want to get this
Paul.
podcast. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, Paul. I'm going to ask this because we don't have a lot of New Jersey anglers on, and you talked about ego. I've got a big ego too. Hey, what's your PB? What's your PB in New Jersey, largemouth?
Oh man, my friends just get sick and tired of me talking about this big fish all the time. All right, so here we go.
All right, we're sick and tired of it at this point. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
All right, so last year it was a cold, windy day, March 9th. I was out fishing, just throwing little swim baits, tattletale swim baits. The 6 Sense Divine, to be specific. Just throwing it around along the bank, and I was out there with my buddy Thomas Wyatt, and we caught a couple of pickerel, and he caught a decent 2-pound bass. But then I hooked into something big. It felt heavy, and I was catching big pickerel all winter. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's another 2. Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking it's another 2-foot pickerel because it feels heavy and it's pulling hard.
Right.
I yell over Tom, like, "Yo, Tom, I got a monster on." As soon as I say that, I look back towards the water. This biggest bass I've ever seen in my life just comes jumping, clears the water completely, mouth wide open, gills flared, just head shaking, and I am freaking out. So I'm backing up. I'm fighting this thing. I finally get near the bank, and Tommy grabs her by the mouth for me, and dude, 7-pound, 11-ounce.
Ooh, that's bigger than Alex's.
That's bigger than
7 pounds. 7-11.
Does that include? Hold on.
No,
does that include the
2-pound
deduction because somebody else landed it for you?
No. That was just an assist. Dude. I was like
huge.
Shaking, dude.
Yo, dude, that was a huge big Jersey.
I actually got a picture of her right here.
Yeah.
Yo,
there she is.
That is a big.
And then there's the swim bait, the 6 Sense swim bait that she bit. But look at
amazing.
That. Just an absolute chunk.
What swim bait head was that on?
Yeah, it was 1/8 ounce Kitech ball jig head. Smaller size because I'm fishing very shallow, and I don't like to pick up all that muck that lines along the bottom. Yeah, so a little lighter one keeps it off the bottom as I'm bringing it in.
I like it.
Snaps for Powerbait Balls.
No, we're not doing snaps. Stop. We're not doing snaps.
I'm giving snaps. And that wasn't 7-11, Paul. It was 8. That's an 8-pounder with snaps.
Okay. Rounding up, it was an 8-pounder. Yeah.
No.
Minus the 2, it's a 6-pounder. because Wyatt gets 2 pounds of it.
No, that don't count. No.
Listen, Paul, I think you're the only one that we've had on the show that has me beat for a New Jersey breed
Really?
so far.
Yeah.
So what's your PB?
Yeah. So my PB is 6 pounds, 15 ounces. And it was in a day that I caught 2 5-pounders, lost one bigger, and then hooked into that day I broke my PB 3 times in one day. Yeah, it was an amazing day. Thankfully, like that video too, I recorded the whole thing. I was doing YouTube a lot then, and that video took me like 3 weeks to get out because I tried to do like the best editing, the best sound work I could do, everything right. And just like you said, like I was like, when I finally released that thing, I was shaking like I had just unloaded at a whorehouse. Like I was quivering. And the worst part is when something like that happens, I don't know about you guys, like when you're around non-anglers, right? I was fishing in an area, basically in people's backyards, and it's from the kayak. These people, they saltwater fish. They don't freshwater fish. So I catch this. Everybody kind of scoffs at it and walks off. And all I want to do is like do the Mike Iaconelli, like fucking yell. But I'm trying to be like as quiet as possible because it's kind of like awkward. So the whole time in the video, I'm just like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
Dude,
and then I got real sleepy, had a sandwich, went to sleep. It was exactly what my wife basically has to see on a daily basis.
Dude, that's basically a 7-pound northern strain largemouth bass. Like,
yeah,
I don't care. Dude. I don't care if there's women with 2-year-old children and Karens all around. Go freaking Ike when you get your hands on even on a 6+ pounder. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'll tell you what, I freaked out when I got my hands on that 7-Eleven so much. I strained my voice, and my voice was like hoarse for like 2 days later. Like, I don't even care, you know?
Hey, you never know.
Fish of a lifetime.
You never know when that woman with a 2-year-old is just looking to pull some strain because her husband ain't ever around.
Yeah,
and there
right.
you are with an 8-pound bass, and she's like,
right.
2-pounders.
Hey, baby, come on.
Yeah, right. Not those kind of women where I fish. Good grief. Those are all Karens that are like, excuse me, sir, don't cast near my dock. You're going to hook my poodle and drown him.
I heard
those kind of people.
I heard that toy poodles is the New Jersey secret to catching big pickerel. Is
muskie.
You take one of them, muskie, those tiger muskies at DOD
those
lakes,
right?
Yeah. So you take those, you take Karen's poodle, you don't even have to like hook it. It's kind of like hooking a minnow. You just get it in its fur and you just live line that bitch out there.
It's a good topwater bait. You know, you got when you start doing the doggy paddle, and then just that.
Wait, what you're saying is you would walk the dog. You would walk the dog.
I would walk the dog. Just
the best spook I ever to use
and then
Jenny's poodle from 549 Anchor Lane on Lake River X.
and then an extra sound with that topwater blow up instead of just hearing the splash, you hear in the jaws of a muskie.
Listen,
Lake
you put
Placid,
enough
New
bait
Jersey
fuel on.
Edition.
Yeah,
you're gonna be ready to go. Enough bait fuel covering that thing, you'll be good. I'm sorry, KY Jelly Bass and Brews Edition. Put enough of that on there.
Oh my God, we need to have more good New Jersey anglers on because Powerbait Paul
you just have
and
me
Alex
normally.
are really hitting it off, and Paul's like his description of the people that he has to fish around are really good. I'm enjoying the shit out of this. Speaking of that, hey, Powerbait Paul, I don't think you know Alex, but Alex has beef with you from like 4 or 5 years ago.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Alex,
Do tell.
Elaborate, Alex.
I don't have any beef.
Let's hear it.
That's not what you said earlier.
Listen, it was what Adam and Hara said about you. So everybody knows that Adam and Hara.
Adam's full of it. He's full of it.
Hey,
what is he full of, Paul?
Hey, Powerbait, before you came on.
Yeah.
before you came on, Paul was like, "Hey, you piece of shit, how come you haven't like text and talked to our guests?" And I was like, "I'm gonna fuck with them." So I was like, "Hey, just so you know, me and Paul have beef from like early Instagram days. So that's why I didn't respond to the text because we fucking don't like each other." And Paul's like, "Oh shit, really? Oh, all right. Well, we'll try to be nice."
The only person that doesn't know that y'all doesn't.
We
know
don't
y'all,
have beef.
Well, that's not what you said.
I know. I said it to fuck with you because I knew you try to bring it up on the show, you piece of shit.
Yeah, and I brought it up, and now you're scrambling your pants. You're like you're over there with the Woody in the ninth grade wearing
no. What it is Alex. The fact that he knows that my PB is bigger than his PB, he feels intimidated by me, a superior Jersey bass angler.
That's it, dude.
I understand.
Hey,
listen, I'll
bow down. That's a big 7-Eleven's big fish.
I need to see more pictures of y'all holding up fish to see which one of y'all short bitches can make a little fish look bigger.
I'm good at that.
Y'all are both like in the micro wrestling world. I mean, little short.
Paul, did you see that? Hey, if you guys listen to last week's show, we had Andrew from Tackle Talk. And we were in the show talking about how he keeps getting these weird TikToks about micro wrestling. And I made a promise, and the promise was every time that showed up on my YouTube feed, I would text it to him. Success. I sent it. It finally showed up. There was a new pay-per-view for the Micro Wrestling League, and I sent it right to him. And that really funny picture of Paul. He did not respond back to the YouTube link, but he responded instantly back to this picture of
what the heck?
Yeah, that's Paul Jabber Hammer waiting for his wife to get out of the shower.
That's Powerbait Paul when my wife's in the shower and she's like washing her hair and she rinses off and she opens her eyes, that's what she sees.
I mean, I don't know. That kind of looks like hair from a woman that gets stuck in the shower drain, if you ask me. That's kind of what it looks like, you know.
Hey,
if you haven't emptied it in like a couple weeks, that's what's at the bottom of the shower.
Y'all remember the movie from the early 2000s, Sorority Girls? And it was a bunch of dudes that joined a sorority. It had I can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, you'd have Sorority Girls. It's a great movie. It's one of the best movies ever that nobody ever talks about.
It can't be that good.
And he's cleaning out the sorority girls like drain. And he's pulling out this glob of hair, and he's like, "Oh my God, what is this?" It's like Ewok, and he's pulling. I was like, "Find it, Alex. Find it and pull it up." Are you doing that now, or do I need to?
I'm working on it. It's not called that though. But anyways, I'm gonna look.
Yeah,
you keep. Listen, poor Powerbait Paul's here. This guy is like, he's been on Ike Live, and now he's slummed it. His career has stooped so low. And he's now on Bass and Brews as we're talking about dirty hair in the drain.
Yep. I mean, I think this might be the first podcast where I'm hanging out with guys whose PBs are smaller than mine. Like, come on now. I could be.
No. Paul's is bigger. Paul's is bigger.
On, Paul.
Okay. What's your PB, Mr. Carolina?
Hold on. Why are you thinking that my PB is smaller than yours? What made you come up with that?
Because you give off dink PB energy. What can I say?
You give off little dink energy.
Bo, I have
dink PB energy.
I have caught 5 fish limits.
That's
the
a new
size
T-shirt.
Of yours.
Oh yeah, because you're in the Carolinas, bruh. You do that in New Jersey. I'll be impressed if you catch anything over 4.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If y'all pay for me to come to New Jersey, I'll show you how to catch some fucking 10-pounders.
You could have came up here. I had to go down to you. I think it's because Paul is scared to fish tough waters.
Business, I don't get PTO. I don't.
You do. You own your own business. PTO. Yeah.
Oh, I'm like a dentist. I hit his nerve.
You did.
I wish you could take. I got a toothfish chip.
Nobody cares.
Anyway, that was just a dumb analogy. So on a serious note, Paul, what is your PB?
10-1.
10-1. Okay.
Yep. My fish were the HL fish, and they shat it out whole.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, Mr. Carolina, where that bass actually get big.
Well, obviously they get big up there too. Y'all just don't know how to catch them. If there's an 8-pounder roaming in your lake, there's probably a 10-pounder too.
What's the record? The record is like not even 10, right?
It's 10-14.
10-14.
Damn, that's
10-14.
That's a big ass fucking fish.
That was caught in 1980, so you know.
Oh well, yeah, we ain't gonna see that again.
Nope, probably not.
And that was caught by us, Paul. That was caught,
South Jersey.
Yeah, it was caught
by Robert Isley. Actually, I've been to the lake that it was caught at, Mananico.
That's the thing. They don't think it was at Mananico, right? Yeah, that's where it's
supposedly.
Listed. Yeah, that's where it's listed. But all the rumors say there is a private pond next to it, and you can't get the limit in a private pond.
Just think about it. Looking at the picture of that thing, that largemouth was 24.5 inches, and it was 10-14. It had a belly that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not normal. That is a freak of nature. My 7-Eleven was just shy, just a hair under 24 inches, and it was, even that's not a normal bass.
No,
like the rumor is,
and you call it pre-spawn too when it was feeding up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, late winter. She didn't put on egg weight yet.
Yeah, it was late.
Okay.
March 9th. If you see the pictures of her, she's got a big body, but she doesn't really have any sagging belly. No eggs yet.
So March is considered late winter for y'all still?
I would say the first couple of weeks is. And then like the last week or so is when like the pre-spawn begins. That's when the bass start getting on those bigger bellies.
In March around here, I mean you're catching pre-spawners in February around here.
Yeah.
Fat ass.
Well, farther south.
Kind of up shallow.
Yeah.
In February. I mean, I caught a 875. It's been a few years ago now. First or second week in February. And it was a fat. It was 23 3/4 inches long, 8.7, and it wasn't a huge fat, but I mean you could tell she was feeding up. And I caught some other big fish in that area, but that's for us. That's why geographically speaking.
Yeah, the farther south you go, the earlier the spawn is. Like when I first heard.
Are you fucking kidding me? I never knew that.
Such a smart.
Okay, Sergeant Sarcasm, but the first time that I heard of people catching bass off of beds in February, I was just confused. I was like, "What?" It's crazy. Yeah, right. It's crazy just to think about it.
It's a different world
they
down
don't
here. The farther south you go, the more shit that wants to eat, sting, fuck,
and gets bigger, bigger.
And we're not even talking about fish right now. We're not even talking about fish. We're talking about the people.
You go, the
just talking about the Karens.
That's right, exactly. Baby. That's
just talking about the Karens. They get bigger and louder.
Holy shit! Brisk iced tea. Powerbait Paul just imported himself from 1995.
Blood orange to match my beard. Look at that. Oh yeah.
How does it feel to be like a really, really famous day walking angler?
Okay, first off, really, really famous. Take it down a notch. I'm not really, really famous. I'm just like kind of famous.
Nope, time out.
Locally.
Alex, have you ever
locally I'm famous.
Shut up, Powerbait Paul. For 1 second.
I'll allow that since you're a Paul.
Respectfully, shut up. Alex, have you ever been on Ike Live?
No, never.
Ask me.
Have you?
I have never been on Ike Live.
Yeah.
Hey,
Powerbait Paul.
Has Ike ever mentioned your name and gave you shout outs and gave you shit?
He gave you. Yeah. Okay, Paul, has he ever done that?
That in a minute, but ask me.
Yeah. Paul, has he ever done that to you?
Nope, never. Never. Hey, Powerbait Paul, have you ever been on Ike Live, and has Ike ever shouted you out and been your buddy and your friend?
Yeah, I've met Ike a few times. I've been to his studio and got to hang with him a little bit.
Have you been on his podcast while it was recording and got to speak?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Words are coming out of my mouth after they pressed the button, but
famous. See,
yeah.
you know what? Famous.
Sort of a local.
Yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you are shortchanged, but don't shortchange yourself.
I'm short, but yeah, I get it. So actually, probably the way I got to tell the story. Probably the way I never get tired of telling the story. But the way I met Ike was just.
I was going to ask this, so go ahead. Yes.
Unforgettable. So this is 2021. I decided I've never caught rainbow trout before that, so I'm like, you know what? Why not try something a little different? I'll go, opening day of trout for catch and release. So I go hit a local spot, a lake that's stocked with rainbows. So I'm walking around the bank, I caught like 9, so I'm having fun. And then I see this boat on the water, and nobody else is there, just me and this boat. And then I look on the side of the boat, and it says Ike Live. I'm like, no way. I got to make sure. I yell across the water. Like, yo, you guys catching anything? As soon as I hear his voice, I'm like, I hear Mike talk. I'm like, no way, Mike Iaconelli. He's like, what's up, man? I'm like, dude, you're like my fishing hero. Can I get a picture with you? He's like, come on. I'm like, all right. So I'm walking around the bank and to meet him at the dock. And he's, casting around a rainbow trout swim bait, and he's working his way towards the dock. And then he hooks into something huge. And I'm still walking, and all I hear is, net, Brian, get the net. And I look over.
Too? Hell,
yeah, Brian the carpenter was on the boat. And I look over, and Mike caught a 7-pound, 4-ounce largemouth bass on a trout swim bait that he hooked into as he was working his way towards the dock.
Still smaller than yours.
Yeah. So here he is. He steps out into the dock, and then me and him pose with this giant bass to get a picture. And that was the first time we met, and that was unforgettable for both of us.
You were wearing an Ike hat. Is the hat
I was wearing this
right now? Was
yep,
it that
this
hat?
one.
Fuck
this
yeah!
One.
We got Powerbait Paul on the podcast tonight wearing a fucking hat that made him famous.
And this was actually the same hat I wore at my first ever Ike Live sesh.
Hell yeah! Look.
Yeah.
Your
it sounds like Ike
from
needs
Ike
to get you
Live
some more
podcast.
hats.
He does. He should. Yeah. But
what the fuck, Mike? What the fuck, Mike? Get him some more hats.
So BTC has been on this podcast 2 times, maybe 3, but definitely 2 times. How was Brian the Carpenter in person? Was he a condescending asshole in person when y'all met, like he is in podcast land, or was he just the sweetest man ever? Which one was it?
Yo, when I first that day that I met Ike, I didn't even know who the crap Brian was at that time. I thought he was like somebody that worked for Ike or something. So I'm like, here, random person, take my phone so you can get a picture of me and Mike.
You gave Brian the Carpenter your phone to like take a picture.
Yo, and this guy, he's my homie now. But this guy, when after that he started following me, looked me up on Instagram, started following me, and I still didn't know that was him. So for like months after that, I didn't follow him back, and the guy was giving me crap about it, like, are you gonna follow me back, you bastard, or what? I'm like, You're never going to let me live that down, are you? Oh, man.
And Brian the Carpenter, Ike had like 2 or 3 really good friends growing up. And Brian
he was one of them.
Was one of his best friends that he grew. If you ever listen to Ike talk about his fishing journey.
Oh, I know. Brian was a big part.
Is one of the main
and
characters.
Paul's like, hey, take the camera, take the picture, do your job.
Hey, bitch, take this picture of me and Iaconelli.
He was like an NPC or something. I don't know.
Hey, Brian the intern, take this picture.
Brian the intern.
This bitch puts up crooked ass,
I love it.
Woodworking. Here, take this picture. I hope you make it less crooked in your woodworking stuff. Hey, have you ever been to BTC's Garage Mahal?
I have. I even saw that 8-pounder he's got mounted. Oh, yeah. Saw it in person. Actually, I fished a tournament with BTC on a local lake, Union Lake. We fished That was my first tournament I've ever fished, and me and Brian the Carpenter took second place out of 16
What?
boats.
Did you contribute, or was it all Brian?
It was 90% Brian, but I did get the first bass. So, but I did get the second biggest one. He caught a 4-pounder.
Nice.
I caught a 3.5-pounder. So, you know,
Paul, have you ever caught a fucking smallmouth there?
I have, but it was the last one I caught was like 2010. 2-pounder off the dock.
Jabberhammer, this is like the only place supposedly that you can get smallmouth.
The only place.
Yep. Paul.
Right.
Yep.
Anyways, and I have never like face-to-face talked to somebody. I used to fish the shit out of Union, and everybody talks about it. You got to go in the back. You got to go to the dam. You got to do this and that. Oh. I am fucking full well sure that there is none in there, and you're the first person that can actually confirm that they've caught one there.
All right, so I'm going to spill some juice here. Alex, have you ever heard of the Morris River?
Yep.
The Morris River is connected to Union Lake.
Oh, that's River X. Everybody that listens to Alex talk about River X is Morris River.
All right, shut up, Paul. I'm trying to make my point here. So what I'm going to tell you is Union Lake is technically not the only place that has smallmouth, because I caught the second biggest smallmouth of my life, 18-incher, out of the Morris River.
Did you?
On a yep.
That's crazy. Yep.
On a Rapala skitter pop right under a bridge.
That is for you folks in kayaks in the South Jersey area or any part in New Jersey. Do you want a fun time fishing and kind of a fucking cool scenery? That river is really fun to fish. It has it's kind of
striped
you can
bass.
hit parts of that. Yeah, dude. Once you hit low in the pockets, like once you get closer to the ocean, right? You hit around Tuckerton and shit like that. There's a brewery down there that you can fish all day. Get yourself white perch, striper, largemouth on the way there.
Channel cats.
Yep. Channel cats. Stop in, get a beer, go back out, do it again. It's very fun.
Catch some jackfish there.
If you're
pickerel are everywhere.
Yeah,
pickerel are everywhere. Literally every single body of water a largemouth is, you're going to find pickerel.
Start calling them jackfish. Please don't call them pickerel.
Listen, I stepped on one
pickerel.
in a big.
I stepped
on one in a big puddle this morning. That's how fucking prolific they are. They are everywhere. I love them.
Sounds about right.
Hey, Paul,
I love a good water wolf.
I love them. I like them when they get to about 2 feet long, 3 to 4 pounds, and the 5-pounders, dude, they are like a different animal. They're like a little northern pike.
How did their eggs
but
taste?
it's these little ones that are, you hook them, they're like,
the little
mouth full of teeth and a whopper plopper hanging off their face, and just like, yeah, that's not my cup of tea.
I'm pretty sure that's what all of our 3 wives feel like, once a month. Just
that little one's flapping in my face, and I don't want it there.
Hey. Thought you're going somewhere else with that, but okay.
Paul, if we can ever go anywhere, it's there. The only way is sexual. Like, if you think we're going somewhere else and you think it's not sexual, that shit's not happening. Hey, Paul, let me tell you something. We've had some big guests on here. Excuse me. I got the black lung pops. We've had some folks on, and I will tell you this: I haven't seen Alex this giddy in a long time, and it's because y'all have this. He's not even fucking from New Jersey. Like the
he's
only
another
New
Jersey guy
he has in him is what his wife gave him when they had relations.
Yeah,
that's the only New Jersey he has.
Yeah,
in
Paul.
him.
I'm not originally from New Jersey, but I have lived here the last 10 years of my life now.
Okay, so my question is, what the crap made you move to this lousy state?
Oh, I love
his
it.
Wife.
No.
His wife.
Okay,
listen,
I get that.
Have you ever seen real boobies in life? In like for not having.
I guess that's a good motivator.
Like not having to pay for them. It's like, hey, we're moving to New Jersey. I was like, oh, I don't know.
No.
And she's like, motorboat these bitches, and she's like, I was just like, we're moving to South New Jersey, bitch.
Listen, it was even before that. I came out here in 2002.
Hey,
I remember.
real quick.
Stop interrupting me.
No.
Stop.
Real quick.
Shut
Paul,
up.
Alex is a 20-year veteran from the Coast Guard.
I was going to get into
So
that.
he only had some places that he could go.
Well, no. So I did boot
limited
camps.
options.
No, I did boot camp in Cape May. And I remember, so I'm from Washington State. I'm from Tacoma, Washington. It's a town just south of Seattle, Washington, right?
Jeez.
So I bought.
That's a long way away.
I fly all the way out here, and they're like, "Your boot camp in Cape May, New Jersey," and I'm like, "Oh, cool. This place sounds like a shithole. I've seen Sopranos. Fuck this place, right?" And so I get on, I get to Philly. I get on this bus, and I'm like, "Did we take a fucking wrong turn? Because why are there woods everywhere?" And we take, the expressway over to the Parkway, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" So I do boot camp. It's fucking cool. It's like a beachy. We weren't allowed off the base only but once, right? But we went to like Wildwood. We were like, this is dope. And then I went back to the West Coast, and then I go to school. And on my list is Atlantic City, New Jersey, the Coast Guard Air Station in Atlantic City. And I was like, fuck that. I'm going to do it. It looked nice there. And I got here, and I fucking love it. It's not what people think of New Jersey. It's not, maybe a little bit where you're at, kind of, because you're kind of close to Philly. So you have like, but the county you're in, I won't say what it is, but like that's a little out there compared to like some other counties that are close. Yeah. So, but it's not like North Jersey. It's not like super industrial. There's fucking woods everywhere. This morning I went out to have my morning dart with my cup of coffee, and I watched 5 deer like frolic in whatever snow we have left. Like, it's fucking cool here. It's dope as shit. I hope more people don't come here. You can all go fuck off. Like after the pandemic and all those
many
dicks,
people in this little state.
It is, but all those dicks from New York and Philly that came down here to South Jersey specifically during the pandemic, like kind of fucked shit up. Like, this isn't the big city. Like, leave it the fuck alone. Yes, we don't have a lot of different restaurants. They're all Italian spots, right? We got one Mexican spot. That's it. That sucks, but listen, it's real good. No, dude, it's all Italian food. It's just Italian food constantly. So at least where I'm at.
Got good bagels.
We do have good bagels, actually.
And pork roll.
But I love it here. I fucking love it here.
Roll.
Pork roll, never Taylor ham. I saw you put that in the chat, Paul. You can go fuck yourself. It's never Taylor ham.
I was trying to get Alex
roll.
to. Alex says pork roll. I was trying
because
to,
it is.
We got Powerbait Paul, a New Jersey, a neighbor of Alex's.
Yeah, but I knew that he wasn't going to fucking say Taylor. I knew he wasn't going to say Taylor.
To get you to be like, oh,
because I knew that he wouldn't call it that. Like, I knew
But I called you out for saying it, Taylor ham, and you didn't even respond at all.
Because you specifically said in there, Alex lives by you. I knew Paul didn't think that I fucking called it Taylor ham. You said Alex lives real close to you, and I was like, okay, this guy's from.
Defend yourself.
I didn't need to. One, it's fucking on the goddamn package. It says pork roll.
Well, it says Taylor's ham, pork roll. It says
but you don't call it Nabisco when you mean Oreos. And I was trying to make it similar to you, fat ass. You don't call it by the brand. You don't go, oh, I'd really like some
Nabisco.
General Mills.
That is true.
That is true. Anyway.
I love it down here.
I'm from the Carolinas. I don't know. I'm arguing with y'all about no fucking pork roll.
South Jersey is a beautiful space. It's really cool. It's very diverse because you can be on the beach, do the beachy thing. You're so close. I'm only like 45 minutes, if that. 45 minutes with no traffic. I can get into Philly. Less than 2 hours, I can get into New York if I want to do big city stuff. Or I can just like tool around in the middle of the Pine Barrens and be fucking weird. It's awesome. I love it.
So how close are you two together? How far away are y'all from each other?
30, 45 minutes.
Something like that. Couple counties.
How about the bodies of water? Is there a body of water that's 20 minutes from both of y'all that y'all could meet up?
Union, probably.
One day?
Probably.
Yeah, Union's probably
and I can think of a few others,
Yeah, we won't talk about them.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Exactly.
Alex's
Powerbait Paul is going to take Alex, and they're going to go fish around some bridges and some
Jersey
bouncers.
Yeah, bro, I'm down. Once we I'm full fair weather. It is too motherfucking cold. When I woke up this morning, it was 6 motherfucking degrees, and it feels like -1. Fuck that shit. Yeah,
it was
last winter.
14 degrees last
last winter was just crazy. Nonstop fishing. I was catching monster pickerel left and right, slab crappie, black and white, under bridges, all winter from the bank. This winter, I haven't caught a fish since like the first week of January.
Dude, the fucking wind. The wind is atrocious. It's so fucking cold. We're blowing like 15 to 25 miles an hour every fucking day. It's absolutely.
All the lakes are frozen.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing. In South Jersey, people think New Jersey be like, oh, lakes are frozen. You can just go do ice fishing.
Fuck no.
No, not my area. We get what's called shell ice. All right. This ain't going to hold my fat lard to be able to catch a friggin' crappie. I'm not going to risk my life to catch a little crappie, pull a little crappie like that out of a hole like that. No, thank you. I'm not going down. I'll wait.
If you want to be in the news, you go ice fishing in southern New Jersey.
Fuck that.
And you're going to be in the news.
Yeah,
you're never
in the obituaries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Powerbait Paul, do you know who Smiley Adventures is on TikTok?
He's not going to know him.
I don't know. I don't do TikTok. Never got it.
Smiley, when we have our 2 years running now, when we have our camping episode, which is in the fall, Smiley's on, you and him have got to link up. He's in North Georgia. He's country boy, North Georgia. But y'all got to link up because you both have wood paneling.
I was waiting.
What's that do with anything?
You got wood.
What is wrong with it? It's like a good country vibe. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Y'all need to link up.
Hold on,
because
you're in Jersey, from the country. You're in New Jersey.
Georgia. Look, if I was
but I'm in the rural part of New Jersey. I'm not in that city slicker part. I'm in the good area.
Hey, Paul, it's rural.
Whatever, rural.
There you go.
Rural.
Hey, if I was in my childhood home, I also would have a wood paneling background. I'm not picking on you, Paul. I'm just saying,
because I don't care.
I like it. You need to connect with Smiley because I believe you two are long lost soul brothers.
Could be.
And that y'all would like get along a lot. Smiley's gonna listen to this episode.
Hold on, it's like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but it's the Brotherhood of the Traveling wood panels.
Oh, good grief.
Hey, Jabber, did you see his latest TikTok where he's complaining about the cold? He's like, all right, this snow thing was cool for a day, but this is fucking bullshit. Fuck this shit. Get it out of here.
I have it because today is the first time that I've scrolled through TikTok since September or October. And that's why I'm a little bit out of control tonight. And I tried to preface this podcast episode with both of you. And even though Powerbait Paul had no idea what I was talking about, that I was going to be a problem tonight.
It's a
because my wife's out of town. I've got my son. Gymnastics is gymnastics season.
Don't you have like a custody thing? Don't you get every other weekend with her? And why is she always with her boyfriend?
We're not divorced, you stupid fuck. No, she's taking my daughter to gymnastics.
Are you sure? Or is she meeting?
Who are the young college girls going to sleep with?
That's who she's out meeting right now.
I was wondering what that was.
And then it happens, Paul, and you're like, yes. That's who the young college girls are sleeping with.
Hey, Jabber, how many people do you think? I'd like to know, and you guys let us know in the comments on the YouTube video if you want. I think you can leave comments on Spotify or let us know on bassandbrews@gmail.com. If you have no idea what we do during that segment, like if you're an audio only listener, like what do you think we're playing other than that song? Because obviously you got to put it together that lady says that comment and then there's Pina Colada playing. Like, what do you think is the imagery? Because I know we have some audio only listeners, and I always wonder, like,
they have
what do
no idea what's going on. Look, if you're an audio listener, go back to minute 49 and 50 seconds.
Yeah.
It's
Go
going
to
to pop
YouTube.
up around 49 minutes and 30 seconds. That when you hear everything go quiet, and then you hear that audio, you have to go back and watch what comes up, because I sent this shit to Alex this past summer.
Yeah.
Late
6
fall,
plus,
early
a
fall,
long
late
time.
summer, one of those two. And it's probably the greatest thing I've ever sent him, because he lost his shit, and then literally the next episode we recorded,
I played it like 12 times.
He has played it relentlessly. Like, he used to get mad at me about my soundboard with all the shit that I play, and this motherfucker plays the relentless.
Who are the young college girls going to sleep with?
Can't with that video. Oh, I love TikTok.
I always
sometimes.
think about what guest would be the old
Chris Cruz.
guy.
Chris Cruz.
Yeah, Chris Cruz right now.
Chris Cruz.
But Chris, he's not fat, but he's not that skinny.
Yeah.
But,
Chris Cruz.
You know, I think Drunkwood would be that guy. I think
Drunkwood in like 4 years.
Do you know Drunkwood?
Yes, I know him. He is a very interesting character. Let's put it that way.
Hey,
he always leaves some kind of corny comment on anything I post that just leaves me like, how do I even respond to this guy?
You guys heard it here first. Powerbait Paul said that Drunkwood is a piece of shit. That's what he just said. Drunkwood's a piece of shit. And I hope your pecker falls off.
So Paul, Drunkwood's going to listen to this episode
and make a shitty
he's
text
one of
message.
Our earliest listeners every Friday morning, because usually between 6 and 8 a.m. every morning on Friday, Alex and I get a group text from Drunkwood that it says some stupid shit, but every single one of them goes, God, I hope this is the last time this podcast ever airs, or some bullshit like that. Like,
Hold on. Here's the evidence.
Are you
Paul,
gonna go through the text?
Here's the evidence.
Oh boy, here we go.
This was on Friday at 7:43.
Quote.
Like 7:43. Paul, you were annoying as fuck the last 20 minutes of that podcast. B, thanks for the shout out. Can't wait till the 7 people who listen with a mean yearly income of $28K hopefully buy my work. What a piece of shit.
I can see now why you guys didn't even tag him in one of your videos on Instagram.
Alex,
he's all like, couldn't even tag me. I see now why.
Go back and read some of the
I'm
other
going.
ones.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay.
Just got back from a good friend's funeral. I didn't think I could be more depressed, but then your podcast started in my truck and I contemplated driving into a guardrail.
Hey.
Go back 2 more.
It's a good thing you don't smoke. It would be very hard for Alex to haul around oxygen since that tank would be taller than he is.
One more.
Hey, listen. So I'm considered the guardrail guardian because I always have a guardrail in my fishing spots.
Yeah.
So if John King, if you ever want to drive your vehicle into a guardrail, I'm not going to be the guardrail guardian. You are free to go. Please drive it into the guardrail.
He put at 7:19 a.m. Sorry, I was out to dinner during vacation, but after 20 minutes of listening, I chose correctly not to.
This is the literal shit. But so this is what's so funny is he hates this podcast so much.
But he listens.
Anytime we invite him on, I give him free reign. I'm like, Drunkwood, won't you come on, invite whoever, and let's do it.
He kills it.
The first couple times were just, hey man, come on, be a co-host. I don't have any a guest or anything. He's like, oh, I got people. And so he started bringing these people on. And then if you listen to his episodes, 2 or 3 episodes ago, starting, it turned into the Drunkwood Russian roulette of guests, because it would be a hodgepodge of motherfuckers that he brought on
Just random big names.
Random huge people. We had one of my fishing heroes, Frank motherfucking Scalish, on. And this is Drunkwood. It's Russian roulette. Anytime that I want to have an episode that's just,
it's always when I'm not on.
It was, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But
hey,
Drunkwood we love Drunkwood. We talk a lot of shit. He talks a lot of shit, but he really does. A great friend of the show. But he is one of the funniest motherfuckers on the
again
internet.
At 7:21 a.m. I'm halfway through this week debating laying down on the interstate.
Yeah, that was a good
one. How do we add all these as quotes into our press kit?
I don't know.
First off, just like I'm saying, how do you even respond to some of the things he says?
He's.
But Paul, this is not on social media. This is him texting us.
This is personally to us.
And
it's a personal attack.
That makes it so much worse.
My really ADHD kicks in. I'm like, God damn, was that episode that bad? Like, fuck, man. I'm sitting here contemplating life as a Bass and Brews co-host, and like, should I fucking quit?
Bro is gaslighting you on your own podcast. Oh, what an idiot.
No.
Hey, I want to back it up a little bit, Paul.
Back it up.
You met Ike and Brian the Carpenter on the water. You took a picture. What's the story of how you came to be a guest and a recurring guest on Ike Live? Like, how did that happen? What do you know the catalyst to that, or why Ike took a drawing to you? What was the thing that got him to bring you on there?
The main thing was the fact that the whole meeting, you know what I mean? Like, that was, he wasn't going to forget that day, neither was I. That was the main thing.
Or
but then the
Carpenter, who turned into a camera bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Brian
but the main thing is so
Brian the camera bitch, BTCB.
Oh, that's good. anyway, before we get sidetracked, so that's good. So, so Ike started following me back on Instagram, and then he messaged me out of the blue. I'm literally at work, just scrolling through Instagram at work on the toilet, just blah 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 blah, doing my thing.
Hold on, time out.
And
I'm sorry. This is Bass and Brews, but you're at work, and
I'm at work.
And I
boss makes $1
randomly.
But hold on.
Yeah.
But today, I'm like, "Hey, are we still good today?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm at work. I can't talk."
Yeah, you're not Mike Iaconelli,
dude. What the fuck, Paul? Jeez.
Yeah, different circumstances. I wasn't on the toilet today. Let's just say that. So I'm sitting there, and then I get a message from Ike, and Ike actually asked me to be a South Jersey correspondent for the fishing in his local area in South Jersey. Talk about because he knows I fish just about every day. Any chance I get, I'm out there. And so he wants me to keep everyone updated on what the fishing is like in his local hometown area. And so, eventually they just kept dragging me on, and
and now you're rich. And now you're Iaconelli.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Not quite.
Rich.
Now you're living in the same neighborhood that Alex got kicked off of the lake.
That is true.
That they live on. Look, we have a long going feud between Alex and I, because Ike is literally, if you were to ask me who my hero of fishing is, it would be Iaconelli, because he wears everything on his shoulders. I love that part of it.
He's as real as they get.
The Southern boys in the early 2000s.
Not when it comes to his fucking private pond.
Shut up, Alex. Let me finish, and then you can get into your stupid diatribe. But like, as a Southerner in the early 2000s, like, the Southern folks hated Ike because he was different. He was a Yankee. He was winning, and he was loud, and he wore his shit on his shoulders.
He had a passion for fishing that surpassed all of theirs. That's what it is.
And so when Alex and I first started this, I didn't know this, but Alex Alex started telling me about how he didn't like Ike because he was fishing on the lake that Ike lived on, and he got kicked off. Ike didn't kick him off. Like, had nothing to do with him. I was like, bitch, you better not be talking shit about Iaconelli. And so we started, this was 3 years ago.
Yeah, it became like a running joke of me calling out Iaconelli.
Running joke feud of Alex not liking Ike because somebody else kicked him off of the lake.
Some
that
fucking
he lived
Karen.
Some Karen. Yep, Karen.
Yes.
You know.
Some homeowners. But I turned it into that Mike Iaconelli was so scared of my fishing skills that he had me kicked off his fucking private.
Wow. So Ike himself hired a Karen to run you off the lake.
Exactly.
That's low. That's low.
Exactly, man. Listen, but we've squashed the beef. He sent me an apology letter. He said I'm the greatest there ever was.
Right. Hey.
No, dude, it was really funny. I remember I would get DMs that was like, hey, man, you got to be careful. You're local to him. You don't fuck around talking like that. And I'm like, obviously, it's a fucking joke. Like, obviously, he didn't come out. I've expressed fully, yes, I did
didn't
fish.
take it as a joke. Fuck you, Alex.
Well, you're an
don't
idiot.
Like Ike, you know what? When we
Ike's
make
great.
April 11th,
I think he's great.
if you don't praise Iaconelli when you come down to Jordan Lake on April 11th,
I'll be there praising Jacoby
I'm going to
Wheeler.
slap the gray out
I'm not
of
going
your
to
face.
slap shit.
No, what it is this guy is going to hire a different Karen to kick this guy off of this guy's lake. That's how it's going to go.
Look, I'm in North Carolina.
Boom.
A Karen comes out here. They
They're
Hey, back to you, like becoming the spokesperson. It was smart of Ike to do that, right? Because you're bank fishing. I would be willing to bet. I would be willing to bet the majority of people that listen to his podcast in that area, in y'all's Jersey area, are probably fishing from the bank. And so
mostly kayak guys.
No, it's a lot of kayak, Paul.
It's mostly kayak guys.
Yeah. Bunch of whiny bitches.
Kayaks are the worst.
Do you have a kayak yet, Powerbait Paul?
I do. I just don't use it that much.
Because you're not a whiny bitch.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need it to catch giants.
Oh,
True.
shit. Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Well, yeah, but we've already
Jersey
figured it
kayakers.
out. Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Hey,
You're a
but
bunch of
Paul
whiny
already
bitches
made
who
it
can't
clear.
catch
He already
baits.
let out the secret. He has Ike sit out in front with live scope, and he tells Paul where the fish are.
No.
That's why Mike didn't compete last year in the major trails for bass fishing, because he's out there live scoping fish for Paul. That's what he was doing all year.
Actually,
and then Brian Carpenter is taking
Actually,
pictures the whole time.
Actually, when I
Brian's our personal photographer.
I thought that was Brian the Carpenter.
That's what he said.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Brian's the photographer.
Oh, sorry, I'm colorblind.
Try to keep up, Paul.
Well, dude, I'm colorblind. Like your red beard and shit, I can't see nothing. It blends in perfectly.
Well, if you
like
take your sunglasses, off, so you have 2 eyes instead of 4 eyes, that might be easier to see.
Wait, you have glasses on. What are you calling 4 eyes? You have glasses on.
I know. So I'm a 4 eyes, so I'm allowed to call him a 4 eyes because I'm a 4 eyes. Game recognized game. You feel me?
Paul, are you picking on me because I'm colorblind?
Yes, I am.
Good.
Thank you for your honesty. I really appreciate that. I have no comeback for it.
I also want to make a big announcement. Bass and Brews is going to make the statement. Now we've been asked to by many organizations. Bass and Brews officially does not support colorblind people. Figure it out. I don't know what to tell you, but this is our official stance. Yep, this is our official stance.
Use them or lose them, Paul.
Exactly.
Use them or lose them. Use them or lose them.
Show me green or shut the fuck up.
You know what? Fuck you guys. I'm
out. Loser.
What a loser.
Hey, to finish up the story, though, because Alex and I are very bad at interrupting people, mostly me, not Alex, but I mean, seriously, you had Ike bring you on to do a segment on his show about fishing the local lakes. How did that make you feel? I mean, as somebody
it was awesome.
I mean, how what was that like when the first
He's trying to
couple
tell you,
times
Paul,
got
shut
to
up.
come on?
So it was just like, ah, man, it was so cool. I had the first time I was on the show, like the first segment was just, it was crazy. It was crazy. I made like a whole. What I did is I made the whole compilation of my top baits from the previous year, and I went over each and every bait that did me, that caught me big fish and, consistently caught me fish. And I went over all them and presented them to the show. You know what I mean? Because that was the first time I was ever on any podcast, let alone one of the biggest fishing podcasts in the country. You know what I mean? So I had to figure out a game plan. I had to find something to talk about, and it was cool. It was really cool.
Hey, did you lie about those baits so nobody knows your secret sauce?
No, I might lie about locations, but I don't lie about baits. Because I mean, think about it. All right, for one thing, my name is Powerbait Paul. I'm a bass guy. I'm not a trout guy. I don't use those little Powerbait pellets. I got my name because one of my old fishing buddies would call me Powerbait Paul because he saw how many big bass I catch on Berkeley Power Worms. These things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like this, growing up, ever since I was a kid, this was my number one go-to soft plastic. And so,
are they sponsoring you yet?
No, they're too big. They're too big.
So
I've tried.
Bitch, you're on.
Yeah, they're
on
too
Ike Live. You have one of the
I
biggest
know.
fishing names in the industry, and they can't send you some goddamn baits.
No,
you know what?
He was so
Berkeley.
sad.
That's listen, because it's like that's one of the things that does irritate me, though. You know what I mean? It's like a big brand like that. It's they only care about who's fishing the Bassmaster Elite Series, who's fishing the Opens, who's fishing the Bass Pro Tour. You know what I mean? That's the only caliber fishermen they care about. They don't care about us grassroots anglers. You know what I mean? It's the sad truth. I mean, Berkeley is just another corporation in the fishing industry. I use their baits. I talk great about them because they do me really well. I catch a lot of nice fish on them. You know what I mean? But
hey,
the people, they do follow me on Instagram, so that is cool. They once in a while reach out and say, "Hey, nice fish." You know what I mean? So that's cool.
Right.
But
have you directly reached out to them and said, "Hey,
yeah,
how about a partnership?" Okay, that didn't work out. Gotcha.
Yeah. They said
What's up, Carter?
They said maybe in the near future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They suggest me to try and enter some local tournaments and build a startup from there. Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying, you know what I mean? But they said, but if we ever want to reach out, we only know one Powerbait Paul. So
that's right.
You're there. So
hey, Paul,
it is what it is.
How did your social media life or your fishing life or your life in general, how did it change when you got to be on Ike Live and you became part of the Ike Live podcast?
I met because becoming friends with Mike Iaconelli, that really opened the door to meeting a lot of really good people in the fishing world. Made a lot of good friends through that. Fans of his, friends of his. You know what I mean? And like I said, one of them is Thomas Wyatt. You know what I mean? He's one of my best fishing buddies.
Yeah, he's got 2 pounds of your PB.
Get out of here. It's funny though. He was actually there for both my PB largemouth and my PB smallmouth.
And he owns 2 pounds of each.
No. Because last year, me and him took a trip up to the St. Lawrence River, where I caught a 5-pound, 13-ounce smallmouth. St. Lawrence, first trip there. But
so 3
me and him
pounds,
had a good
5
time.
Ounces.
No, he didn't grab that one for me. But
your social media, obviously it took off because I didn't know who the fuck you were until that the Ike Live episode.
Oh yeah,
I started following you then. Social media, has that did it make you want to make more content, or did you just keep doing the same shit you were doing? Like,
I'm not a content creator. I'm not an influencer. I'm just a regular everyday fisherman who just loves catching big fish and just posting them for other people to look at. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like Ryan Rigged or one of them guys who's like taking like a 5-second video, holding up a fishing rod, making faces and getting like 10,000 likes for them. But you know what I mean? I would rather get 30 likes holding
Shots
up a
fired.
4-pound, holding up. No offense to the guy. No offense to the guy.
Big
He does make
Milliken.
he does make funny videos, you know, but that's not my thing. I'd rather be holding up like a 4 or 5 pounder and get like 50 likes than, you know, making funny faces, waving a fishing rod or something and get like 10,000. You know what I mean? It's not my thing.
Hey,
you know,
you
that's why I never got TikTok either.
You just need to take out like 20 hats, and every time you catch a fish, you just take a photo or video of that same fish with all the different hats with different backgrounds.
Yeah, right. No, I couldn't do that. Nah. No, I'm real when it comes to the fishing. No.
Have you like been able to get any kind of sponsorship or upgrades to lures or fishing shit? Like, has any of that happened? I mean,
not yet.
Not really.
Nah, not really. No.
But when you go out in public, if you were to go to the Bassmaster Classic this year,
oh, people do know me.
Know you.
People do know me.
Yeah.
Just walking through the Philadelphia, Alex, if you're going to the Philadelphia Fishing Expo in February 15th, I'll be there. A lot of people recognize me there, and when I went to fish that tournament with Brian the Carpenter, the Slay Nation tournament, a couple of guys were like from up in North Jersey. We fished it, another one. A couple of guys were like, "Hey, Powerbait Paul." I'm like, "Hey," you know, it's like Brian's like, "Man, a lot of people know you." He's like, "Do you know any of them?" I'm like, "A couple of them.
No.
A couple of them I don't know." Because listen. Here's the thing. Before I became friends with Ike and joined his podcast, it's like everybody knew me, I knew them back. After that, a lot of people are saying hi to me, and I don't know them either. I don't know them. You know what I mean? So I used to be, yeah. It used to be, hey, what's up, so and so, and then now everybody's like, hey, Paul. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. You know what I mean?
Hey,
but
next time you're out and about and a BTC's around and people are coming up to you, Powerbait Paul, you need to start saying, oh yeah, thank you, man. Hey, this is my camera guy.
This is my photographer.
And you point at Mike Iaconelli.
Yeah. All right. So this is the last little question I have in this line, because it really is. It's interesting to be able to go from somebody fishing off the bank in New Jersey to meet Night, taking a picture, getting on their podcast. How does that make you feel that when you go somewhere, people are like, Powerbait Paul? Like, how does that make you feel? Are you a little taken aback from it? Or is it something that you're relishing and like, holy shit, this is awesome?
I'm digging it. You know what I mean? When it comes to fishing, I freaking love it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm kind of reserved, you know, kind of shy. I admit I'm not really a crowd kind of person. But just listen. But when it comes to anything involving fishing, I'm all in. You know what I mean? Clearly, you know, because fishing, it's like takes my confidence level just next notch. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to fishing, that's my thing. I live and breathe it. It's my passion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That
so
and wood paneling.
Here we go with that again.
Look, if there's anything that any guest will ever get from coming on Bass and Brews podcast,
is your background made fun of.
I'm going to give Alex shit. He's going to give me shit. And our guest is going to get a ton of shit as well.
We bring you on for an hour and a half to shit on you.
Fair enough.
Jamie Haggerty, 3 or 4, 4 episodes ago, I think now, His episode comes out. He makes a post on Instagram, a story on Instagram. He's like, I went on Bass and Brews podcast and got picked on for 2 hours. And you know what?
Suck it up, Buttercup.
But we expect you to finally pick up on it and be like, yeah, Alex is a short bitch and Paul's a fat ass motherfucker.
That is true.
Like, that's what we're looking for.
It is
and
true.
I think, Paul, you
So
did a good job at that.
this guy has a smaller PB than me, and then this guy can't even see what color my freaking beard is. So, you know.
Well, we just found out that
Powerbait right because you just pointed to the wrong people.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
this is Alex. You got a smaller PB.
Nope, that's Impotence Paul.
Huh?
Yep.
So wait,
there you go. There
you must be reversed on the screen.
Oh, now you're colorblind, Paul. Now
whatever. Whatever.
All right. We're gonna hit the patent pending shotgun round. It's gonna be a rapid fire set of questions. Listen, Powerbait Paul, the Brewskis are a very loving group of people, but this is the one part where they're gonna judge the absolute dog shit out of you. So before we get to it, I want to give you a chance to give any shout outs and where people can find you at.
So look me up, Powerbait_Paul on Instagram, Paul Silver on Facebook. That's really most.
Spell your last name.
SEWARD, as in Seward, Alaska. Powerbait Paul, POWERBAIT.
We got that one.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
You're good.
So actually, yes, I would like to give a shout out to the other, besides Iaconelli, Mike and my camera guy, Brian the Carpenter. Two other podcasts that I've been a part of. Great guys. Jigs and Bigs, Bobby Roast Beef.
Hello.
And multi-species, New Jersey multi-species.
Nice.
Joe and Chris.
Hey, we are the sister podcast to Jigs and Bigs.
We are.
Okay.
Bobby, I started this whole podcast because Bobby had me on an episode, and I was like, that was fun as fuck. I'm going to do that myself. And I created this one like 2 weeks after he had me on.
And then episode 9, he had me on. And then episode
Everybody
12,
knows the story. All right.
He brought me
shotgun round.
It's time.
Boys and girls, let's see how far down the rabbit hole we can go today.
In the middle of my diatribe.
Woo! It only takes one.
All right, Paul. We're going to ask you a rapid-fire set of questions. What we need you to do is answer it, either yes, no. We don't need a full-on explanation unless we ask you to. And try not to do that politician bullshit where you just don't answer the question, right? And it's very important that you get these because these questions are so important. They're going to take you to the highest levels to become a serious angler or to the lowest lows to the dark waters. Are you ready? All right. You're going to spend more on a rod or a reel?
Rod.
Perfect. Crocs or flops?
Flops.
What? You're a bank angler wearing
Dude, that's dangerous.
Flops?
That's a lot of crack pipes and fentanyl needles.
Lose half the shoes that you own. Oh my God, I'm appalled by this answer. I'm appalled. Is it because you can't find Crocs small enough to fit your feet?
Crocs are gay. Next question.
Bitch, I wear Crocs and I fish in 19-degree weather.
You got 5 hours to fish. Would you rather catch 5 2-pounders or 1 7-pounder?
1 7. Quality over quantity.
How many 7-pounders have you actually caught?
1.
7-11.
7-11. Yep,
Alex, how many 7-pounders have you caught?
Barely 1. Missed it by an ounce. Missed it by that much.
I know. I should have pissed in that fucker's mouth is what I should have done. Hey, Paul, you're on your way to the water. Is it hype music or is it slow jams?
Oh, no, it's metal. Totally metal all the way.
All right, that was the next question.
Hold on, because Alex,
metal?
I'm not a metal guy. Alex is a metal guy. So y'all talk and we're going to hear this out.
Like what metal bands is your go-to heading to the water?
Kill Switch Engage, The Devil Wears Prada, Trivium. You know.
All right, solid.
Great movie.
Metalcore.
Prada was a
Metalcore. Yep,
movie.
exactly. That's solid. Not my favorite metal, to be honest, but I also listen to trash metal too. So, like, my new favorite thing is this band that's been out for a while. They are fucking awful, but I love it. They're called Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh yes, yes.
All right, so it's kind of cringy though, because they like mix like techno in with the metal.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I like them.
It's cool, but it reminds me of like late 90s new metal a little bit. It reminds me of like Powerbait 5000 and shit like that. I fucking love it though. Like,
they're so catchy.
Hey, for everybody out there, I sent 9 Inch Nails is going on tour this year.
They are.
I sent Alex the TikTok because I fell off the wagon, and because I love 9 Inch Nails.
No, he doesn't.
And he's like, you don't even like them. I'm like, what?
Bix doesn't even like them. Get out of here.
I love 9 Inch Nails.
I've never heard you mention. I've known you, Paul, for 3 fucking years, and you've never once mentioned 9 Inch Nails.
I want you to fuck me. Something like that. I don't know.
Exactly. Get the fuck out of here. Everybody knows Closer, and you don't even know the lyrics. Hey, Powerbait Paul.
Beaten part.
Do you eat largemouth bass?
No.
What?
I've tried it once when I was a teenager. Kept one when I was a teenager, and
How was it big? Cooked? How'd you cook it? Yeah, how big?
3 pounds. It was about a 3.5
pounder. Oh, dude, the key is it has to be over 6 pounds. And what you do?
Oh no.
And here's the key: you don't actually eat it. What you do is you go find our guy. His name is James. He's behind the Circle K near you. And what he'll do is he'll give you eggs from a 6+ pound bass. So you don't actually have to eat it. He'll just discard the whole bass. He'll throw it out in the woods. That's where it belongs. But what you do is you eat the eggs. Yeah.
All right, Paul.
You ask for the Bass and Bruce special. You'll get 10% off.
Wow.
Paul, you've got to come down to the Carolinas. I will deep fry you some.
Jabber, are we eating bass when I come down?
Bitch,
when I come down there,
we're eating it.
Oh, when I come down there, I'm beating your PB. 10-11 coming up.
You know 10-11. If you catch a 10-11, we're eating it.
No, we're not. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to be your no.
Paul,
I treat my big girls with respect.
Paul,
you just eat your big girls. We're not the same.
Whoa, Paul, hold on.
Bucket brigade.
Down here in the South, them big girls like to get ate. And so if you want to treat a big girl right, you got to eat her right. And so we're going to deep fry it. We
still talking about fish?
I mean, shit. It might not look the same, but it tastes the same.
Anyway, I thought this was a rapid fire question. Seems like a pretty slow fire question.
Unless we wanted to go, the host of the fucking podcast wanted to go into it. But I'm telling you.
Whatever. I'm at the mercy of Jabberjaw.
Listen, man.
Impotence
Paul, it's tough. 3 years of this. I've tried to fire.
I feel for you.
Yeah,
I feel for you.
Hey, speaking on the subject of food, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
What?
I dig it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
A guy
not all the time, but once in a while.
It's nice to have the sweet and salty, right? Yeah, exactly.
That's why you don't like eating big girls.
Paul, how about beaver? Have you ever eaten beaver?
I have not yet.
No. Okay,
dude, you're in Jersey. You got great beaver in Jersey.
Yeah.
I've eaten gator, if it means anything.
All right.
We're talking about beaver, dude.
Well, whatever.
All right.
I've eaten gator.
All right. When you come down here, we're eating your PB.
No, not going to agree to that.
Some beaver and a beaver.
I'll agree to a beaver. I'll eat the beaver. I'm not eating a 10-pounder.
You're going to eat beaver before you eat a 10-pounder?
Yeah.
Fuck
most of us would. Yeah. All right. This is the most important question in podcast history. Every great angler loves a good sandwich.
Don't fuck this up, please.
What are your top 3 sandwich proteins?
Okay. I thought you were going to ask me what are my top 3 sandwiches, but top 3 proteins. pork roll,
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
bacon,
Hell yeah.
Hell.
and cheese. Or not cheese,
No!
egg. Yes, egg.
Oh, he saved it.
Egg,
he
Oh,
saved
egg,
it.
Jesus, he
egg,
saved himself.
egg.
He saved himself.
That's not what I meant. I meant to say egg, yeah.
He was half
Saved
a
it.
cooter hair off from
He
being
was
the
so
cheese.
close to being delirious. Delirious angling when he was on the show. He said, cheese.
Hey, do you listen? Do you know who Bailey Agbrit is from Sears?
I have. I hung out with him one day on Night Live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it came
Yeah,
down
that
to fight.
motherfucker said
I met him once.
Spinach. Bailey said
Ew.
spinach as a protein.
Wait, listen. Powerbait Paul,
Weirdo.
you've seen him. Is his ass really as bodacious as it looks like in his social media? Because that dude has the best ass in fishing, and it's got to be from the spinach, I guess.
Oh, he's a thick boy. He's a thick boy.
There we go. You heard it here first. Powerbait
Yeah.
Paul says
He's
Bailey
built-
Eichenbrink is a fat ass.
He's built like a late fall bass. Let's put it that way.
All right, everybody.
Alex, you gotta,
Yeah,
Alex,
that's
you
so
gotta
good.
cut that part and post that shit. Bailey
Paul,
Agbrit.
hang out for a minute. Everybody else, hey, have the day you deserve. Don't be an asshole. And we'll see you on the next one.
Oh.